Hello everyone. So it's about time. Let's begin the webinar. Before proceeding, let me introduce myself first. I'm Vaishnavi Thakur, a master's student at the University of Tokyo in the Department of Electrical Engineering and Information Systems. I welcome you all to today's webinar. I'll be the facilitator for the webinar. So today's webinar is about study and work in Japan. It aims to promote education in Japan by motivating young students to pursue their higher studies in Japan. The University of Tokyo India office is organizing these sessions where experts from different universities across Japan will be providing the information and guidance on various programs being offered in the universities. Now, Japan has the third largest economy in the world, with a huge demand for skilled professionals, and not forgetting the fact that it has the highest employment rate among the other developed G7 nations. But still, many students choose Western countries for their higher education. We believe that it is mainly because of the lack of awareness of wonderful opportunities Japan offers and various misconceptions like Japanese language requirements, tuition fees, living expenses, job prospects, and so on. So these webinars aim to bridge that gap and provide answers to these questions. Now, if you have any further queries, please shoot your questions in the Q&A portal. And the agenda for today is as follows. So first we'll have a brief overview of the sessions by Ms. Sakshi, who is a program assistant of UTokyo India office, followed by a presentation of study and work life in Japan by Ms. Khushi, a student of the Kyoto University. And then we have presentations by representatives of University of Hyogo, University of Fukui, and Eike University of Hiroshima. The total time of presentation of universities is 20 minutes, which is followed by a Q&A session of 5 minutes. Now, before proceeding with the webinar, I would like to request all panelists to turn off their audio and video when you are not presenting. Also, please share the university details in chat box after your presentation. Attendees, you are requested to post your questions in the Q&A portal and not in the chat box. So now, without any further delay, let's begin the webinar. I would like to invite Ms. Sakshi, the Program Assistant of the University of Tokyo India office, to share her thoughts. Over to you, Ms. Sakshi.
Thank you, Ms. Khushi, for a kind introduction. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, Study and Work in Japan, Session 21. My name is Sakshi, and I'm the Program Assistant here with the University of Tokyo India office. So first of all, before giving you a brief introduction about our project, I would like to thank all of you. We are so glad that you have participated in our webinars. Thank you for supporting our online seminars by attending. And to all our panelists, thank you for contributing into this webinar. Because of the support and contribution, we have successfully completed 20 series of this amazing Study in Japan project, and there will be many more such series we have planned for future. So this webinar is hosted by the University of Tokyo India office and brought to you by MEX, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology in Japan. By all means of these webinars, sessions, our mission is to introduce Japanese universities to you and to assist you to study and work in Japan. Our office is a part of Study in Japan Global Network project in Southwest Asia by MEX, and we provide comprehensive information on Japanese universities. We organize education fairs and seminars throughout India as well. So about the webinar, there will be 3 to 4 different Japanese universities representing in each session, national, public, and private universities. And all the universities will be introducing English-based programs that are offered by them. So I must tell you that studying abroad in Japan means you will further your studies in a well-rounded education system, and you will experience a unique new culture, and you will have a chance to gain a more international perspective. So, however, I know it would be difficult to understand everything in such a short period of time in 20 minutes each university. But I would like to recommend all of you to please note down the contact addresses of each university so that in case if you have further doubts, please feel free to ask them later on. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to me. Please stay till the end and enjoy today's session. And please don't forget to register for our next webinar tomorrow at 1 p.m. IST. We have a lot in store for you. So please register for all of our sessions. I hope it will help you to consider studies in Japan and to achieve your dreams of studying and working abroad in Japan. So thank you very much once again. Over to you, Ms. Thakur.
Thank you, Sakshi-san, for your valuable words. Now I request Ms. Kushi-san to share her presentation and give an overview of study and work life in Japan. Over to you, Ms. Kushi.
Thank you so much, Ms. Thakur. I'll share my screen right away. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, it's visible.
Okay, great. So a very good evening to all the panelists and attendees. I'm Kushi Jhaveri from Kyoto University, and today I'll be talking about the study and work life in Japan. So I'll start by giving a brief introduction about myself. I was raised in Tokyo and I graduated from an international school in Tokyo. I am a third-year undergraduate student at Kyoto University and I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree in Environment and Information Studies. At present, I'm a member of the India-Japan Laboratory and the GIS Laboratory at Kyoto University. And I'm also a recipient of the Kyoto University Scholarship. I have worked as an intern at Shibaura Institute of Technology, Hitachi, and I'm currently interning at Tsukuba University. And last year, I was also a member of the Social Innovation Hackathon that was held in collaboration with well-known universities in India like IIT and NIT. So why should you choose Japan as your destination to pursue further studies? Firstly, Japan is the third largest economy in the world with a population of 126 million and 47 prefectures. It is a member of the G7 summit with other developed countries including US, UK, Canada, and Germany. Japan ranks 9th in the Global Peace Index and has topped the Safe Cities Index for the third consecutive time. There are a range of international cuisines such as Indian, Italian, Nepalese, and Japanese available to students coming from the overseas. Recently, culturally appropriate food, including halal, vegetarian, and vegan options, are also available. Health policies have proved to be very beneficial to international students, as 70% of the costs are being paid by the government. There are several universities in Japan that offer English programs at undergraduate, graduate, and doctoral levels. In Japan, undergraduate programs are for 4 years, graduate for 1 or 2 depending on the program you're applying for, and doctoral for 3 to 4 years. The English programs in Japan are well renowned because the professors have great expertise in their respective fields and have created unique approaches to teach students. Japanese universities are categorized into national, that are founded by the Japanese government, public, that are led by local public entities, and private, that are based on founders. Japanese universities also provide essential resources to students to help their personal and professional growth. Universities also support students by providing student services and facilities, including libraries, research labs, student lounge, gymnasiums, and dormitories. The fee structure is an important aspect while applying to universities, so we have presented a chart that helps one understand and compare the differences between the tuition fee in the US and Japan. The tuition fee of public universities in the US is 5 times higher than the ones in Japan, while the private universities in the US is 3 times more. The living expenses are somewhat similar, however, Japan is much cheaper than the US in terms of overall education. Financial assistance is also provided by universities or Japanese government in the form of internal and external scholarships. The MEC Scholarship and JASO Scholarship being some of the well-known scholarships within international students. In order to apply for the master's or PhD courses, it is crucial for the applicant to contact the supervisor of the program for admission assistance. So the job opportunities in Japan are countless. Graduates from Japanese universities usually tend to work for multinational companies such as Amazon, Google, Toyota, and Panasonic. Graduates, especially with a computer background, have a great scope in Japan. The average salary after graduation is 3.9 million yen per year, which is about 27 lakh rupees. Japan also has the lowest unemployment rate, which is 2.34%. Visa procurement is also an easy process. The student visa can be upgraded to working visa if the student is able to find a job within Japan. So, as one can infer from the graph, the number of dispositions for employment purposes from international students has been escalating over the years. 2019 witnessed double the capacity of international students in 2017. There is a 50% increase in the number of dispositions. The number of students from Southeast Asia has been increasing because of the wide job prospects in Japan. The rise in job opportunities in Japan has increased the demand for international students to pursue their further studies and a career in Japan. From my experience, I can certainly say that my university has opened doors to several opportunities and experiences. As you can see, the picture on the left is from an event called the Sokeisen, which is a term that is used for the baseball game between two prestigious universities, which is Kyoto University and Waseda University. The picture on the right is from the hackathon that was held last year in collaboration with IIT and NIT. In the India-Japan laboratory, we conduct social and cultural events so that students from both countries are given the chance to communicate and collaborate. In the GIS laboratory, we aim to approach different challenges of the environment by using various computer-based tools. Lastly, another very interesting factor of studying in Japan is the opportunity to experience various seasons. Compared to other countries, Japan does not experience harsh climates. One can enjoy different seasons in the country, for example, witnessing cherry blossoms in spring to the stellar views in fall and winter. The diverse weather conditions give students the chance to experience different seasons and travel across the country. I would like to conclude my presentation here. I hope I encouraged you to consider working or studying in Japan, and I hope I was able to give students and parents an insight into the study and work life in Japan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Ms. Khushi, for the wonderful presentation and also for providing an overall picture of how a student life looks like in Japan. I'm sure it's very exciting. So now we'll move on with the university presentations. So firstly, we have the University of Hyogo. It is a public university in Japan, which is established in 2004 by integrating 3 universities run by the Hyogo Prefecture. And more information about the university will be given by Mr. Saddam Khalid, a professor of the same university. So over to you, Mr. Saddam Khalid.
So can you see my slides?
Yes, we can.
And can you hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so hello everyone. And first of all, I would like to thank University of Tokyo India office for organizing this seminar and providing us the opportunity to introduce our university. My name is Saddam Khalid, and I am Associate Professor at University of Hyogo, Japan. And today I will be introducing you the Global Business course, which is a bachelor degree in economics and offered at our university. So University of Hyogo is one of the leading public universities in Japan. So we have 6 undergrad schools, 9 graduate schools, 4 affiliated research institutes, and 9 campuses all across the Kansai region. And this campus, the campus for commerce, it is located in Gakuen Toshi Kobe Hyogo, and it's almost 20 minutes train from the main Sannomiya station in Kobe. So this region, the whole region is called as Kansai region, and the Kansai is very famous for a number of reasons. So first, it is considered as the hub of education in Japan because most of the top universities of Japan are located inside this Kansai region, including our University of Hyogo, Kobe University, Kyoto University, Osaka University, and some leading private universities like Ritsumeikan University and Kwansei Gakuen University. And also, most of the Japanese companies' headquarters are also located inside this region. And also, this area, the Kansai region, is famous for tourism. So I think this region provides naturally very good opportunities for the students for learning and also doing the extracurricular activities. And our campus, this is our campus of commerce, and here we are offering this global business course. So the commerce campus, we have School of Economics and Management, and we have three subdivisions. One is Management Department, then Economics Department, and then Global Business Program. So today I will be discussing the Global Business Program, which is taught in English. And the Economics and Management departments, they are actually, these subjects, they are actually taught in English, in Japanese. So for the Global Business Program, which is a bachelor degree program in economics, so it is offered 100% in English, and we have intake of 80 students every year. So 40 Japanese students and 40 international students are selected for this particular course. And this is the intake of 2019 and 2020. And you can see that we have a very diverse students, for example, from South Asian regions, from Southeast Asia, East Asia, South America, and Africa. So why our global business course is very famous, or what are the best features of this course? First, all the classes are conducted in English. So actually why? Because in Japan, so maybe for the master's and the PhD programs, it's very easy for you to find a program which is offered in 100% English language. But for the bachelor program, it's very rare. So that's why this is one of the reasons our course is very popular, because we're offering a bachelor degree program in economics and offered in English. Another interesting thing is about the Japanese language course, because we are actually helping our students to prepare for the industry. And if you want to take the Japanese language course independently in some Japanese language school, then I think you have to pay almost 1 million yen per year to actually learn the Japanese language. But in at our university, for the 4 years, for the 4-year bachelor degree program, we are offering the Japanese intensive language course and also helping students to pass N1 and N2 level. And it will actually help the students to find the jobs in industry in Japan. Another interesting thing about the case-based teaching, and we actually design our classes in a very unique way. For example, we actually introduced 2 types of seminars in our bachelor program. First is the project seminar, and the second is the research seminar. So in project seminar, there are always like 10 to 12 students in one seminar. And what we do is that we provide consultancy to Japanese companies. So what happens that Japanese companies visit our university and they actually come up with some problem, and we try to solve their problem using the evidence-based or the scientific knowledge or the academic knowledge. And for the research seminars, so you will get a chance to study under the same supervisor for 2.5 years. And then, for example, if you want to learn more about the entrepreneurship, the human resource management, economics, development economics, international business, etc. So, of course, you will get an opportunity to do research with the same supervisor, and you will be learning more about the same subject for 2.5 years in this seminar. And also, this will also help you if you want to pursue your career, for example, in research for the master's and the PhD programs. So I think we are also trying to learn the cutting edge research techniques in our research seminars. Another interesting thing is about the work experience. So we are actually helping the our students to find the internships within this, the Japanese companies, because within this region, Kansai region, so there are very top Japanese companies located inside the region. So what is happening is, especially in the summer vacations, we are helping our students to visit and join some companies. So why Japanese companies are providing the internship to the students? Because this is a natural HR practice where companies actually provide an internship for the students, and actually see, for example, if you are compatible with the culture of the company. So if so, then they are going to offer a permanent job position. So I think these are the features of the global business course, and I think very much attractive for the students and designed in a very unique way. And this is the overall curriculum or the course structure. In the first year, you're going to study the combination of maybe the humanities and then the economics and the business courses. And then the second year, more intermediate courses like macroeconomics, strategic management, international marketing. And in third year, more specialized subjects, for example, public economics, economic development, entrepreneurship studies. And you can also write your thesis in one of the specializations. And then you can graduate with your thesis, and maybe you can write your thesis for example, because the degree awarded is Bachelor in Economics, but it's very abstract because in Japan, the concept of industry is very different. So for example, you can also do your research in the economics or in accounting, business or business administration, management, international business, entrepreneurship. As I told you that you will be able to study under the same supervisor for 2.5 years. So you can choose your supervisor by yourself. So degree awarded is the Bachelor of Economics. And how to apply is basically, as I told you, that we select like 30 to 40, between 30 to 40 international students every year. And the eligibility criteria is individuals who have completed a 12-year curriculum of school education in a foreign country or have an equivalent education as specified by the Ministry of Education in Japan. And then the English proficiency certificate or the English proficiency test, for example, TOEFL or IELTS. And you can see that the score is not very high. And these students are selected based on their application materials and the interview will be conducted in English, either locally or online. These are the required materials, for example, application forms, essays, certificate of academic transcript, English proficiency certificate, like letter of recommendation, and other necessary documents recommended by the university. And here the most important thing for me is the application essays, because I'm also the part of the exam committee. So the professor usually focus on your application essays, where you have to write that why you want to study in Japan, why you want to choose the global business program, etc. And based on that, maybe they will ask you questions in the interview. So if you're applying, so I suggest you don't write the essays very casually, write them very professionally. The dates application is 16th of December to January 5, 2022. So interview date will be in February 2022, and the result will be approximately 2 weeks after the interview. Now the interesting part, which I think you're waiting, was about the fee structure and the scholarships. So this program, the Global Business Program, so it is actually basically supported by the government of Hyogo, or the Hyogo prefectural government. So all those students, all 30 to 40 students, the international students who will be enrolled at our university, will be given 50% scholarship. So for example, you see here the breakdown. So the total expense is 35,000 approximately, and then the 50% is exemption, and then maybe you have to pay, for example, in dollars, $2,460,000. So this is the first year, and after that, after your first semester, if you're among the 30% students, first 30% students, then your tuition fee will be exempted 100%. So 100% tuition fee will be exempted after first semester if you are among the top 30% students. For the first year, like 50% is off for all the students. And for all the 4 years, so because this is, as I told you, this is a government supported university. So the program, so all the students will be getting the 50% scholarship. And after first year, if you're among the first 30%, then 100% tuition fee will be exempted. So this is like the first scholarship, which is for all the students, all 40 students who will be selected. And this is the breakdown for the admission fee, application fee. And as I think Ms. Khushi explained to you, that it's very, very cheap compared to US or other European universities. And the second scholarship is the MEX scholarship. It is provided by the government of Japan. So actually there are two ways to apply for this scholarship. One is through embassy. Maybe you know about the MEX scholarship, very famous. So usually they select 5 to 6 students every year through embassy. And the second is the university recommended Max scholarship, and we are actually providing the university recommended Max scholarship. So Max is basically, this is a program created by the Japanese Ministry of Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology with the aim to increase the number of high-performing international students studying in Japan. So University of Hyogo was selected as one of the 10 universities in Japan this year to be granted this scholarship by the Japanese government. So how to apply for this Max scholarship? So first you will take the GBC exam. If you pass, then you're already selected for the 50% scholarship. But among the students who are actually selected for the GBC program, so we are going to select the top 10 students. And then we are going to send their documents to the Max, and the Max is going to do the screening for us. And after doing this screening, so first and second screenings, we are going to select the 8 students. That will be a fully funded scholarship for the 8 students. So this is the breakdown of the Max scholarship grant simulations. You can see that your application fee, your admission fee, your tuition fee will be paid by the Max. At the same time, you will be getting 120,000 Japanese yen stipend for the 4 years, and also the return flight ticket. So this is the very good scholarship. I also studied on the Max scholarship. That was basically the embassy recommended, but it is like the very similar one. And then there are some other scholarships. Actually, we have MOUs and the agreements for with the local companies and also the prefectural government. So, for example, all the students are getting the 50% scholarship, but if you are not selected for the Max, for the rest of the 50%, if you are doing well in your studies, so we will helping the students to get scholarship from the local companies or some other donating company which are actually donating money for the Japanese universities. So I think and there's a lot of opportunities for the international students if you are very serious about your studies. So I think the rest of the 50% is not an issue. Most of my students, they are actually getting the scholarship for the rest of the 50%, and also some of them are doing part-time jobs and they are managing very well, and they're not a burden on their families back in their countries. So I understand, because I also belong to South Asia, so I understand the situation of the students, so how they want to apply. So I encourage all the students to apply. And I think if you really want to study, then finance is never an issue. And then we are looking forward to your application at the GBC program. So now I quickly explain you about the living options on our campus. So the first year you have to live in the dormitory inside the university. This is a must rule in our university, and the dorm expense is very cheap, just 30,000 yen per month. And then you will be also serving as an RA opportunities within this dormitory. And this is our international student dormitory, the Global House. And actually this dormitory is designed in a very unique way. You can see here, there are a lot of units, like number of maybe more than 50 units in one dorm, and each unit has 4 rooms. 4 rooms are separate, but your kitchen is shared. So the reason, and 2 Japanese and 2 international students will be living in one unit. Your room will be very private, but your kitchen is shared here. So the actually theme, or maybe the idea behind this type of structure, is because we actually want to promote more diversity and communication among the Japanese and the international students. So this is the lobby, a dining room, global exchange area, living room. And this is these are the other facilities within that area. So this will be your private room inside the unit. And then, of course, when you're living in the dorm, it's very safe. At the same time, 24 hours caretaker there, and you can meet, interact with the new and the Japanese and the international students. And lots of events are also going on within this department, especially in the dormitory. Most of the students, they organize their own culture week, and students participating in introducing their own cultures. So I think this is also very interesting to know more about the culture and the diversity within the university. And also, we are also doing very active measures to prevent the COVID-19. So raise students' awareness and sense of urgency to prevent the infection in the dorm. Installed hand sanitizers on each floor, distributed masks and electric thermometers to each student living in Global House, and installed clear acrylic partitions in the common spaces on each floor. There are also some club activities. You can join judo, kendo, karate, many other, like for example, soccer, tennis, etc. So there are like two ways to join. One is if you want to join a club. So club is usually very strict and very punctual. You need to be very disciplined if you want to become the club. But if you think that you're more casual type of a person, then you can join the circle. So circles are not really strict, but still you can learn and enjoy some games. So that's all from my side, and thank you for listening. If you have any questions, so you can send an email at this address we can see on the screen. At the same time, you can also scan the QR code. And at the end, I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope that most of you will get admission at the Japanese universities. And then, of course, after that, you will be also doing jobs here and will be giving back to the society very similarly like University of Tokyo India office is doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Saddam, for such a comprehensive presentation, including all the aspects like from the starting from internships, job opportunities to the scholarships and also the accommodation. It was very comprehensive. And so now we can look into the Q&A portal. Would you like to choose some questions? You are on mute, Professor Saddam Khalid.
Okay, so actually before the presentation, I saw one of the questions was asking about the bachelor degree program in commerce and with scholarship. And I think this is the best course for you if you really want to do the bachelor in business and economics. And the question about physics. So I am actually only presenting the School of Economics and Management. If you have questions about the other departments, so you can simply go to the website.
Okay, we can choose.
For the, we have a master course for this. One of the students asking about the master program. So we have a master program for this global business course. We just started like 1 year before. So there is no Japanese language required for that course. And if you're asking for some other departments, so maybe you can see the website. Can you tell us more about the GBC exam? So GBC exam is actually basically only the interview. So there is no written exam. So we are going to judge you based on your academic transcripts, your essays, and then based on what actually how you perform in during the interview. And honestly speaking, the focus of the professors during the interviews is on the English communication of the students. So I think in South Asia, at least we can communicate. So I think you will not be having any problem if you are very serious. So I encourage you to study, to apply for the scholarship. I see the scholarship for exchange in Japan. If I want to continue my further studies in Japan, will I get the max scholarship again for undergrad level? Yeah, of course. I don't know about the rule, but students usually, for example, in the bachelor, master, PhD, they are getting the max scholarships. And again, a question about the physics. So maybe the organizers can see. And again, a very technical question about the max scholarship for other departments.
Yes, there is one question about renewable energy and the energy storage. So, is there any department or a program with which covers the energy sector?
Yeah, I think there is a sustainable development program. There are sustainable development programs. So, for example, some of the students from the policy science, they are also focusing on SDGs, and some of the students from engineering science, they're also focusing on SDGs. SDGs, it will be a hot topic for the next 20 years. So I think you can link with anything. So if you're really interested, you can see the website.
Yes.
And a master program, there is a master program, as I told you, for this global business program, we are offering a master degree program, but there is no scholarship for that program currently. So if you really want to apply, you have to apply as a self-finance student. So there is a PhD in management program, so but it is in Japanese. But still, I think there's not a very like a hardcore coursework in Japan. So usually for the PhD program, you have to consult directly with the professor. So if you write the email to the professor and the professor accepts you, then you can join the PhD in management. We have also a PhD in management. You can see the website. So, of course, does learning Japanese language increase the chance of getting scholarships? So actually last month, we had some prefectural the government individuals, so the officials, they actually visited and they insist on, like, for the Japanese student to increase their Japanese language communication so that they will be getting more scholarships and more opportunities. So of course, if you learn Japanese language, so one of my students, so he got residence free of cost just because he passed some the test. So that was in Japanese language. So he passed the test and he got a free residence. No, he's not paying anything for that. So I think if you are good in Japanese language, of course, increase your chance of getting more opportunities. So we have the Department of Data Science in the Commerce campus. So, but it is in Japanese language. But if you're doing, for example, the PhD, then maybe the professors are likely to offer you. So N5 and 4 level students, of course, if our program is not focusing on any Japanese language, but for the other language, if you can speak and write like the academic language, then you can enroll in a Japanese language program. So economics and geographic studies, geography, economics, environmental studies. Of course, we have economic studies, for example, masters, but at the PhD, then you can choose your major. For example, if you want to do research, as I told you, that the degree is usually very abstract, but you can choose because this is the environment and the development economics, they're like related fields, so you can just choose. So finance and statistics, I'm not sure in our university. So this is like we have more general courses. Internships. So about the internships, during the summer vacations, we actually send our students. We have some understanding the MOUs with some of the companies. So students actually join the companies for maybe 1 month or 2 months, and after that, maybe usually the companies offer jobs for the students. And during the internships, you're going to learn about some specific things. For example, if you want to work in the HR department or the marketing department or the finance department sector. But the concept of a job is very different in Japan. So in Japan, there is no concept of specialists. So Japan believes in more generalists. So if you are joining a company, they will be rotating you in the IT, HR, management, manufacturing. So in the end, you know everything about the company. So we call it here a kaishain. I mean, I'm the company worker. So internship is basically to understand the culture and more the vision and the mission of the company. And if you think you are compatible with the company, you can apply for the job. So about the geology and the pharmacy, I cannot answer. You can see the website. Yeah, so I think the other questions are very much related to the engineering and maybe the medical sciences or the natural sciences. So if you're interested in these courses, so I suggest you to visit the website, because I'm now representing only the School of Economics and Management, and this is my specialization. So I can only answer you related to the management department, management science department. Yes, so we have a master's in, there's a question that we have master program in management taught in English. Yes, we have a master program which is taught in English, but as I told you that currently we don't have any scholarship for that. And, but if you want to apply as a self-finance student, you can apply. Embassy recommendation max scholarships. I think the embassy recommended max scholarships are announced every year. I think from maybe between March and August, and depends on the country. And I think Japan has the max scholarship for almost every country. And then you can simply see the website. You can submit your documents in the embassy, and they're going to screen you. And after the first screening, they will ask maybe for the test and the interview, and then they're going to send your documents to the MEX in Japan. They're going to do the final screening. If you're selected, then you will get the MEX scholarship. And of course, it's highly competitive in for the MEX scholarship because there are a lot of like applications. For example, in our country, I remember there are more than 6,000, 7,000 applications, and they select only 6 or 7 students. But for the university recommended MEX scholarship, it's very easy to get because most of the times some of the scholarships are under the professor. So if you write directly to the professor for the master and the PhD, it's possible for you to get the scholarship. And also for some other local scholarships, you can see there are a lot of other opportunities other than MEX for the students. So maybe you can join the forums like this, University of Tokyo India office, so they might guide you further about some other forms of scholarships which are available.
Thank you, Professor Saddam Khalid. That was, I think we can end our Q&A session here. Not only in your presentation, even in Q&A, you have covered almost all the aspects. Thank you very much. So let's move on with the next university. Now we have AK University of Hiroshima. It is also a public university that offers various international programs and many departments. As we are now living in 21st century, its motto is to be a university which is like the type of 22nd century. And so more details will be provided by Mr. Matsumoto, Assistant Director of the Academic Planning Office. Over to you, Mr. Matsumoto.
Okay, thank you very much for introducing me. Well, let me share my slides. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is. We can say it.
Right. Okay, so let me start. Good afternoon, students, ladies and gentlemen from 7 countries in South Asia. My name is Ryohei Matsumoto, Assistant Director of the Academic Planning Division at AK University of Hiroshima. Thank you very much for joining this occasion today. It is my pleasure to virtually introduce our university to you, which has just been inaugurated as the brand new university in Hiroshima in April 2021. AK University was officially opened in April 2021 with 86 members of the founding class. The university was established by the prefecture government of Hiroshima in order to nurture young people like you who will be our future leaders locally and globally, and who are able to respond to challenges that are not existing in the present world. We are a small liberal arts college with 100 students per year, including 20 international students each. We will have all classes in small classroom setting using active learning methods. As the very early batches of our students, we count on you to create history and cultures of this new university with us. We have only single department and a course of social system design so that you will have knowledge, skills, and competencies to design new social system in the future. You will be able to choose your major in 3 areas that are responding to Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs, namely identity design, business design, and ecosystem design. AK University is uniquely designed to respond to the needs of the unforeseeable future. We identify ourselves as a 22nd century type university, which caters to the changing world to create new societies. We are a fully bilingual institution, And we welcome international students from the world, regardless of their Japanese proficiency. You do not have to be fluent in Japanese to be admitted to take classes for credits, nor for graduating with bachelor's degree in social system design. The curriculum is SDGs oriented, and it is complemented with skill building courses such as ICT and design thinking. The curriculum of AK University will also focus on practical and experiential learning to make you ready for the real world by the time you graduate from the university. We will require students to participate in domestic and international practical and experiential programs. You will also have a series of project-based learning or PBL classes, which are offered in partnership on not only with Hiroshima-based local companies, but also with global organizations. With those classes, we will make sure that our students acquire these 5 core competencies before graduating. You shall have foresight, strategic thinking skills with energetic drive. You will also have global collaboration skills and with ability to improve yourselves through lifelong learning. As said earlier, our curriculum is uniquely designed. As you see, it is combining liberal arts subjects, basic tools or skill building subjects, and a series of practicals, including internships, PBL exercises, and the degree projects you will undertake in your senior year to complete the whole learning experiences. This is the detailed curriculum of the EUH. Please note that several courses are in fact missing only because of the challenge of PowerPoint space. Sorry about that. If you take a good look at the list of courses, I am sure you can find a variety of subjects and study disciplines to be taught under the overarching umbrella of the liberal art. This is exactly what we intend to make our students familiar with the wide range of study areas to expand one's horizons, to understand the society and the world we live, and in the foreseeable future. As said earlier, our students will choose one of 3 design windows to major in either of identity design, business design, or ecosystem design. For example, if you wish to graduate with the major in identity design, you will choose 7 subjects out of about 10 courses offered in any given window. And here are other subjects you would take as basic tool and languages. As the international students, you will not take practical English courses as our Japanese students do. However, you would be able to take Japanese courses from survival Japanese to intermediate level so that you will have at least certain level of Japanese proficiency after 4 years of living in Japan. And then we will also balance your learning with experiential and practical programs. As you see, you will take part in 2 programs to earn 4 credits required for graduation. We are currently working closely with our partner companies and organizations to ensure enough number of internship and volunteering opportunities are available for non-Japanese speaking students. You may wonder what practical and experiential learning actually looks like. Let's see one example. You will have to get at least 2 credits of domestic internship or domestic volunteering as a part of your degree requirement. These are practical courses that give you hands-on experiences to work in Japan. We partner with a local non-profit organization named Joka Kake-san, actively working in the rural and aging town of Aki-Ota in Hiroshima. It is about 2 hours drive from downtown Hiroshima, and you will see such a beautiful nature in the mountainous region. The town is shrinking for both aging and migration of young people to larger cities. If you're interested in rural development or sustainable social support in rural communities, you will have an opportunity to do a 2-week or more of internship with this organization. You may discuss with the stakeholders for identifying key tasks for you to complete and set personal goals to be accomplished within the period of internship. For example, like the one on the slide, you may undertake a mini project to create a virtual tour to attract inbound tourists. You will be expected to proactively look for solutions to address existing and real-life challenges. If you are a person who is willing to take challenges or with an entrepreneurial mind, AK University of Hiroshima will be your destination in higher education. By the way, we offer affordable tuitions for international students, including 50% tuition reduction scholarship from Hiroshima Prefecture that makes about $2,500 per year. Plus, we have on-campus dormitory situated in the heart of Hiroshima City for our students. If you wish to obtain other scholarship, our international office will provide full support for you to do so. Applications for the first window of international students selection for autumn 2022 admission will be accepted from 9 a.m. on Monday, November 1st, 2021, Japanese Standard Time, and for the second window from 9 a.m. on Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. If you are serious about application, please make sure to apply in the first or second window, since third window will be decided to open only when the number of admitted students were less than 20. The selection process will begin with document review, and those who pass the document review will have an individual interview on Zoom. Some of the original documents will be only accepted via physical post, but all the other procedures and exams will be conducted online. So you are not required to come to Japan to take the exam. Upon the application, applicants are required to submit documents providing English proficiency of CEFAR B2 or higher score, but are not required to submit EJU nor JLPT transcript regarding Japanese language proficiency. For more information, please refer to the student's application guideline for autumn 2022 on our website. The theme of the short essay question for the first window is also announced. Finally, in addition to my explanation up to the previous slides, I would also like to introduce how attractive our Hiroshima city is. Hiroshima is one of the largest cities in western part of Japan, where a number of traditional Japanese beauty and several World Heritage sites are accessible within the city. You will be able to find something you like in this charming and historic city of Hiroshima. Actually, we have 2 World Heritage sites in Hiroshima. One is Itsukushima Shrine, as you can see on the left. It is one of the most significant shrines in Japan and the only shrine in the world built on top of the water. the view of Itsukushima Shrine has long been considered one of the 3 finest views in Japan. Another one is the Atomic Bomb Dome, which is the most symbolic building in Hiroshima City, standing only meters away from the hypocenter of the atomic bomb blast. It has become a beacon for the world's prayers for peace and an end to nuclear weapons. So please keep your interest via our official websites and email us if you have further questions. Our website is www.ak.ac.jp, and you can email to our admission office in English. Thank you for listening. So come and design your future with us. We look forward to seeing you in Hiroshima in September 2022. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Matsumoto. Hiroshima is indeed a very beautiful city, and also the university, especially like catering the needs of the 22nd century, which is really unique. So thank you for your presentation again. We can now proceed with the Q&A session. I'll assist you in asking the questions. There's a student who wants to know if there is artificial intelligence program in the university. You're on mute, Mr. Matsumoto.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, let me see. Yes, we have several subjects regarding AI. For example, we have AI and business application. The name of the course is like that.
Yes. So a student wants to know if the university is accepting students if they want to join this year, and I think it is. Is there any course for electrical and electronics? Like any program related to VLSI or mostly in the electrical engineering side?
Okay, well, unfortunately, we do not provide such courses, but we do provide like web programming and application development.
Yes, yes.
But not, it's different from the question.
Yes. So there's a question about economics. So are there any programs in the economics department?
Actually, we have only single department, which is social system design, but we provide economics. Like okay. We do have several subjects regarding economics.
Okay, okay, that's nice. And there are a few questions on like if there are any fully funded scholarships available for the graduate programs.
Right. I'm not familiar with the details regarding scholarship, so I'd like to ask the person who raised that question to contact our office through email.
Yes, yes. Yes, please share your university links in the chat
right.
box so that
okay.
it would help
right
students. Yeah. And yes, thank you so much, Mr. Matsumoto. Again, we can end our Q&A session here, and let's proceed with the next university.
Thank you very
Can
much.
I have the agenda slide, please? So next we have the Japan Science and Technology Agency. I'm sure there are many students in the webinar who wants to know about the exchange programs and the other short-term courses in the universities in Japan. So to address those issues, we have Japan Science and Technology Agency, and I would like to request Mr. Nishikawa to present about these details. Over to you, Mr. Nishikawa.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nishikawa, Yuji Nishikawa. of Japan Science and Technology Agency. I'll put up my slides. Yeah, this one. Today, I'm going to explain, talk about our invitation program, short-term invitation program called Sakura Science Program. Please remember this name of the program. So JST is a Japanese government agency, especially engaged in research funding and human resource development mostly in science and technology. Yeah. And we can come straight just under the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology. And then actually, this is our office in New Delhi, India. I was the first representative of JST. I opened up this office together with the University of Tokyo in New Delhi in 2015. And this is my office was is located just above north to the Deer Park. Maybe some people knows about this. And we do some joint research programs. Just an example with India, in case of India. For example, we have this type of ICT related joint research programs. For example, the university, we are funding these programs. For example, this program is being done by University of Tokyo and IIT Bombay. And this program, set number 2, data science-based farm support. This is University of Tokyo and IIT Hyderabad. And the security in the internet IoT space. This is Kyushu University and IIT Delhi. This project we funding this program in 2016. This is for 5-year program. And we have some other programs. Yeah, and then I straight away go to Sakura Science program. So if you are a student in schools and universities, if you want to come to Japan to see what it's like in Japan, maybe you may have a chance to visit Japan by this program. This is a short-term introductory invitation program. That means this term of stay in Japan is 1 to 3, maximum 3 weeks in Japan. And then up until last year, we invited from 41 countries, including, of course, India, and mostly from Asian countries. But starting this year, we opened up this to all the countries, and also it used to be up to last year, it was limited to science or engineering students. But now, starting this year, it is open to humanities students in the course of humanities and social sciences. So almost most of the students can apply, come to Japan by these programs. And this program consists of 3 big components, but the largest component is this open application type program. This is you have to have a host organization. That is, for example, Japanese high schools, universities, research institute, and so on. Japanese organization can become the host receiving organization, and they will invite people from your countries. And then, so this is a procedure, how to apply and how to invite. So first, receiving organization, host organization submit proposals to JST. And then after evaluation and appraisal, and then we award some of the programs which is applied. And then implementation of the program will start, will be carried out by the receiving organization, of course in tie-up with the sending organizations in your countries. And JST will provide the funding to the receiving organizations. And this fund will cover almost 100% of the expenses for the invitation. So the people who come to Japan will not have to pay almost anything, because this expense will our funding will cover round-trip airfare, overseas travel insurance, and local transportation in Japan, accommodation, food, and so on. So almost 100% is covered by this program. So, but there are certain conditions. So in case of age-wise, it should be between 15 and 40 years of age. These are the age of the invitees. And also you have to be a talented, and then of course you have to have a very high performing student. You have to have a very good grades, scores in your school. And of course you have to communicate in English. And this is condition, there's one condition of his special condition is that you have those who have not stayed in Japan before. So this is meant for the first time visitor to Japan. But of course, if you just visit Japan as a tourist for a short time, it is Europe. That's okay. You are eligible. This is just example of the program. This is the program was awarded to University of Tokyo, and the University of Tokyo invited 10 students, computer science students from IIT Delhi, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Madras, in the year 2019. And then they engaged in some short-term joint research project in ICT. So these are the photos of the students. So this is just one example. And these are who are the invitees, I mean, receiving organization. These are top universities in terms of the numbers of invitees so far. For example, number one is Miyazaki University. They already invited over 700. Also, Okayama University also over 700. Osaka University, nearly 700. And also University of Tokyo, 556 in the last 6 years. So all the top universities in Japan have already experience in using this program and inviting people from various countries. And this is figures, total figures. This program started, Sakura Science program started in the year 2014. And up until 2019, this program invited 33,000 plus people, students, researchers, and students and researchers. And so from India alone, nearly 2,900 people from India alone. So total, biggest number is from China and Thailand and India. So considering the number of students in India, maybe you should come to at least the number 2 position. So you have more chance. So bigger chance. Yeah, I skip this. And then those students who visit Japan, who are invited to Japan by this program, will become the alumni member of the Sakura Science Club. It is an alumni association. So, for example, this student, she visited Japan by this program, and this is newspaper, and she visited Japan in 2019, and now she was accepted by University of Tokyo, and she's now studying online. And also another past people, one more past from the same school. He was accepted by the Hokkaido University this year. So you know, and this is we had the alumni meeting for India, for example, in 2018. This is Japanese ambassador's official residence. I'm here also. And this is the ambassador of Japan, Hiramatsu, His Excellency Hiramatsu. And then he is a very famous person in science and technology. Our main guest was Professor Vijay Raghavan. He's a principal scientific officer to the government of India. So that time, this alumni members selected the main coordinator, that is the president of the Alumni Association for India. He's the main coordinator is Dr. G. Tender Chu. He's the assistant professor of ISA Pune. So she's still managing this organization. is actively engaged in this program. And this is the second alumni meeting in India. It was held in February 2020. So just before the COVID-19 pandemic started. So we are lucky enough to have this at IIT Delhi auditorium. So this is myself, is also here. And then third alumni meeting for India was held only online this year, May 29 this year. So likewise, we have alumni meeting for many, this is at that time, online alumni meeting in May this year. He's an ambassador of Japan in India, and he's the ambassador of India in Japan. And here is Mr. Miyauchi of University of Tokyo, India Office Director is also here. So, and this is a alumni meeting in Sri Lanka, also was held in 2019, this one. So, you know, we are welcome, anticipating, you know, as many people as possible to come to Japan by this program. But the most important thing because this program is not an individual to individual program. This is organization to organization program. So there should be sending organization and receiving organization. So if you want to come to Japan by this program, you have to belong to some sending organization. That is school or universities, for example, or research institute, and so on. So sending organizations in each country must have receiving organizations in Japan, because host organizations in Japan, they will make application to us, and we will refund all the expenses through this receiving organization in Japan. So, a student in a school, you please speak to your teacher or principal of your school and to find the right receiving host organization in Japan. And if you are a university student, you please speak to your professor and requesting to find a partner and make application to this program. So very unfortunately, during the year 2020, due to the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, there is absolutely zero participant in this program. So we had an online program, of course, but the actual no invitation was implemented. But maybe most likely, we hope, end of this fiscal year, or maybe beginning of the next fiscal year, we hope we can invite some or many people, aspiring student from your country. So I hope, just remember, and if you want to have some more details, please search for Sakura Science Program on the internet. We have all the instructions and explanations in English. So we are waiting for you. So just come to Japan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nishikawa, for the presentation. Sakura Science Program is one of the useful programs for the students, especially if they're looking for the short-term research opportunities in Japan. So thank you again. Let's look into the Q&A session. I think this time we have many Q&A sessions related to the Sakura Science Program. Will you be able to answer them, Nishikawa-san?
Yes.
There is a question which says, is the Sakura program available for students in Bangladesh?
Yes, of course. Any countries,
okay.
Any countries in the world, yes.
Okay. There's also a student who says that she has come to Japan using the Sakura Science in 2018. She wants to know if this facility is available for university students.
Yeah.
Without university recommendation.
Yeah, this university student can also come to Japan, but if you already come to Japan by this program, of course you are not eligible, because this is only for the first time you can come, only one time. Mm-hmm. But this program is, of course, can be used, applied by the students or university student, or even a student in class 10, 11, and 12. In schools, yeah.
Okay. So, like, can the students apply for it on their own, or there should be a recommendation from the university?
of course, your school, of course, has to select yourself. And also, the host organizations in Japan should accept, you know. So you have to be a very good student, of course. I'm sure you have to be the top, almost the top student in each school or university.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a question which says how to become a sending organization. So
how to
become a sending organization?
No, it's very simple. You just find a host organization in Japan. That's all.
Okay.
So, and if your host organization accept or agree to invite you, then they will make a proposal to us, to JST. And then if their proposal is accepted, you know, you can come to Japan by this program. So most important thing, you know, you have to, your school or your university has to find a partner school in Japan. That's the most important thing.
Yes. So there's a question which says usually IITs and NITs have these projects, but when it comes to normal engineering colleges, how can they connect with JST other than IITs and NITs?
No, you don't have to connect directly to JST. You have to just connect to any of the Japanese universities. That is some effort on the side of the sending organization is also absolutely necessary. So as long as you can find a right partner in Japan, you can tie up and apply for this program together with the host organizations in Japan. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And there's one more question who says, the candidate who is applying should be working in an organization or can he be an independent researcher too?
It has to be, you know, he or she must be belong to some organization or some school or some university, because this is an institution to institution program. Mm-hmm. Individual cannot apply.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway, this program is very useful, and also the number of the invitees are annual all the year. Every year it is increasing, except for the last year. So I hope you try your utmost to find a partner school or university in Japan. And I'm sure if you can find a good partner, you have a big chance. The chance is very big to come to Japan by this program.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's true. And is there any restrictions on the department or the programs? For example, only like a student wants to, like, is astronomy included in the Sakura Science program?
Of course. All science and natural science in those, plus, you know, starting this year, as I explained, even humanities and social sciences. So business administration is also, economics is also okay, for example. Yeah.
Yes.
So now the door is wide open to many people. Yes.
That's right. And what kind of program structure will be there in the 3 weeks? Like, do you have any idea of the program structure?
That program has to be organized by the receiving party and also sending party together. And so maybe in case of 3-week program, there has to be a small research program has to be there. But a 1-week program, there should no need to have this research program. But you have, for example, you attend some classes in Japanese universities or some discussions with Japanese students, researchers, and so on. And also you can visit some research facilities or some laboratories, or maybe science museums in Japan. And also one day can be spent for sightseeing to see Japanese culture, you know. So 1 week means 5 days, actually 5 working days. So you arrive in Japan on Sunday and leave Japan on Saturday. So you have 5 days, full 5 days to spend in Japan.
So there's a student who says that since April, she has been trying to come to Japan as a research intern, but none of the universities are willing to connect or go ahead with the details.
So it is because I think COVID-19. So all the Japanese, not only universities, but all organizations in Japan are very much reluctant for the time being, to accept any people from outside Japan. Even from within Japan, movement of people is very much restricted. But vaccination is now going on widely. So maybe by the end of this year, I'm sure. Myself also already finished 2 times.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, I think the COVID and the stopping of the issuing of the visas, it is having some impact on the admission process too. So.
But I don't lose hope. You have you're still young, so because this program is applied to the people within above 15 years and also under 40 years, so you have enough time. Okay.
Yes, so I think I can find some repeated questions on how an organization can connect with an organization. Like, can you share more details? Is it like just like mailing the host organization, or how do they?
Yeah, this is the most important effort that sending organization must do. So whoever do the best, do the effort, biggest effort will be rewarded. Yeah, because there's a competition is also there. Big competition is also there. Just like scholarship, and getting scholarship, you have to do some effort, right? So yes. The same applies to this program. This is kind of a scholarship program.
Yes. Yes, that's all, Nishikawa-san. Thank you very much. So much for attending all the questions. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So we can now proceed with the University of Fukui. University of Fukui is a national university. It has got various, it is also one of the top leading national universities, and it has also got various exchange agreements with the many international universities. Now I invite Mr. Hosoya, who is a professor, to take over the proceedings.
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Taku. I'd like to thank the organizers, Mr. Miyauchi and others, for giving us this opportunity. I'm sorry I had to miss the opening of this session, but I'm very glad to be here to meet you online from Fukui. Now, just a few minutes on the region of Fukui before I go on to explain about our university. The region of Fukui, I would say, is a hidden treasure of Japan. And I say this not as a native of Fukui, but as a relative newcomer. I actually discovered Fukui only 5 years ago, and that was after having lived in very many different parts of Japan, as well as in a number of countries abroad around the world. And those were mainly in big cities where I used to serve as a diplomat. And Fukui is where you find, it's a smallish city, but it's a smallish region, but you find the real authentic Japan, very rich in history and culture. And I'd like to take a few minutes to run you through a brochure, which is quite a nice one, which gives you a quick sense of what the region is like. So the title of this brochure is Zen. I believe most of you know what Zen is about. Fukui happens to be one of the centers of the Soto school of Zen Buddhism. We'll come to that later. It says here, after the cherry blossom picture, ours is a simple and quiet lifestyle built upon living in harmony with nature and the environment. Fukui may not be full of large shopping malls or sightseeing destinations that attract large groups of tourists from overseas, but the lush environment, terroir, and distinct climate of Fukui have led to the creation of outstanding traditional slow food and local sake cultures, while Fukui's history and climate have shaped our traditional arts and crafts, etc., etc. Fukui is surrounded by natural beauty, and the people of Fukui live in harmony with the environment. That's a picture of bonsai. I think you may know that. That's nature condensed into a small space. We have our share of natural and traditional landscapes, net fishing, historical ruins, castles. And Fukui is particularly renowned for its food from all 4 seasons. its agricultural traditions and seafood in particular. Echizen crab is a regional specialty. Let me just scroll to that one. That's Echizen crab, a very special regional appeal. We also have refined cuisine, and Fukui is also one of the leading regions for traditional crafts like lacquerware, pottery as well. And here's a picture of traditional paper making, making of knives as well. We have the traditional festivals, hot springs, of course, fireworks, floating lanterns. This is Yokokan Villa and Gardens. It's a smallish but one of the most highly acclaimed traditional gardens of Japan. It's right in the center of the city of Fukui. Then the old shrines and temples where you can have your spiritual experience, escape from the noisy everyday life of cities. That's Heisei-ji Hakusan Jinja, Hakusan Shrine. And so we have Buddhist statues from Obama, that's in the southern part of Fukui Prefecture. It's known as the Little Kyoto. And here is Eiheiji, the famous center of Zen Buddhism. So you see the monks meditating in the style of Soto school Zen. Okay, so geographically we are on the west coast of Honshu, the main island of Japan, and we're not too far from the major cities of Kyoto, Osaka, or Nagoya. They're around 1 to 1.5 hours by train. In 3 years' time, we'll have the bullet train service reaching Fukui from Tokyo, so that brings us to within 3 hours from Tokyo. Okay, so we have very distinct 4 seasons, and with global warming, we still have some snow in the winter. Okay, so that was a very quick rundown of the traditional side of Fukui. There's of course the modern side of Fukui, the side of Fukui. And just a sampling of that side of Fukui. This gives you a very quick introduction of what the main industries in Fukui are. Oh, by the way, I'll give you, I'll post on the chat the URLs for all these web pages. So traditionally, we used to be the center of Japan for textiles, particularly silk fabrics. And that tradition lives on strongly today, with the industry having since expanded into rayon silk, synthetic fibers, and more recently to other new materials, not just for clothing, but for other industrial uses as well. Another notable industry here is eyewear. In fact, more than 95% of glass frames produced in Japan come from a city called Sabae in Fukui, and they are of real cutting-edge quality. We also have a strong base in machinery, electronics, as well as chemicals and plastic industries, etc. Okay, and finally, Fukui has actually repeatedly topped the ranking among all 47 prefectures of Japan for the happiness of its residents. And in fact, the 2 letters of Fukui, the Chinese characters, they literally translates to the well of blessing. And okay, so that was very quickly what the region is about. Now to the university. Okay. Well, this is the top page. You can just put in University of Fukui in Google and you'll get here. This is the page in Japanese. I'll just change to the English page. So there's a few seconds of video here. University of Fukui is the only national university in this region. We have about 5,000 students, and that includes around 1,000 graduate students. What I should mention first is our track record in terms of employability of our graduates. And just going back to the Japanese page for a second. This slide just mentions to you that we again came on top of the list of all national universities of Japan in terms of the percentage of our new graduates who got jobs successfully, 97.2%. And this was for 14 years in a row now. Okay, that's something we are very proud of. Now, our university provides some unique opportunities for learning and research, of course, and that is through four of our schools. School of Education, first of all. The School of Education is in a privileged position, I would say, as Fukui is generally considered to be a model region for education in Japan. And it's very well known that primary school and middle school students of Fukui consistently lead the national ranking for academic and physical performance. And our education school runs a primary and middle school attached to the university to explore educational methods in that environment. Okay, we also have the School of Medical Sciences. Fukui is a region actually very well endowed with medical facilities, and the University of Fukui's hospital is the leading institution of the field in the region. They place a particular focus on the development of community health care, as well as on medical operations for disaster relief. I believe you had a session with a professor from our medical school last Friday. Okay, so any questions you have on this school, you may go back to him. Next, we have the School of Engineering, which is the largest school of engineering on the west coast of Japan. It has a number of departments which cover the gamut of related areas. They also offer a range of master's and doctoral programs. And there will be another session next week with professors from the engineering school. That will be from I only have the Japan time, it's 15:30 on Tuesday 17th. Okay. And finally, the school that I represent, the School of Global and Community Studies, in short, GCS. Now, you just go into the GCS site here, and we are the newest among the four schools, and we're the smallest school. We have about only 60 intake of about 60 students a year, but we offer a very special opportunity to students who seek to be, let's say, global and local at the same time, as the name of the school suggests, global and community, or local if you like. If you put this in one word, you get the buzzword, which is becoming popular these days, glocal. And that is what our school is all about, actually. And I would like to show you a short video which explains it. This is for about 6 minutes. You just scroll down to the bottom of this page. It's here, a short video for about 6 minutes entitled GCS Cross. Yeah, and just come down here. There's two parts, but I'll just show you the first part. You'll get two of our international students who will discuss about the region as well, about GCS and about their experience and their life in Fukui. Okay, you already see the key word here, local, right?
Hey.
Hey.
Seems like we'll be representing the School of Global and Community Studies today, but I guess no need to be nervous, just be yourself.
Will be fine.
Yeah, should be fine. But yeah, the first question. First of all, I had the interest in Japanese language and culture because I have participated in many workshops back in my country and started to learn the language by myself before coming to Japan. And even before entering the University of Korea, I attended classes at a language school, which was for 2 years. And there I worked with my teacher and she advised me to enter the University of Korea. And I wonder about your reason. How did you end up in University of Korea?
I'm pretty simple, like my father suggests me to go to the University of Korea and I just go there. My father's friend has went to University of Korea pretty years before and they say like the university is pretty nice, and my father also thinks that of Korea is very safe. And he just thinks like it's a nice place to go as a graduate student, so you should go there.
The city actually ranks ranks first when it comes to happiness of the citizens. So that's a nice thing. And back to the university, the employment rate of the university is top on the line, and they provide a lot of support when it comes to job seeking. Another part for me that grabbed my attention was the fact that in University of Korea they look at the problems from a wider perspective. So be it local problems like only exist in Fukui, or the global problems that like a lot of top leaders try to find solutions to. We touch all of them, and through that we learn something new about the world and about how things work.
Yeah, like in GCS, we make a mixture about the community and the global into a new word, local, and we can develop a new kind of view to thinking about this kind.
Overall, what is your favorite subject?
Probably it may be like project-based learning, which also called PBL.
Oh, I guess I also like it, and I guess it's one of the main selling points of the faculty, like project-based learning through working with so many different things. You learn about Fukui as well, but there are different ones, like where you analyze different business strategies when it comes to companies in Fukui. But which one are you taking?
In the second year, I'm taking about the reproduction of the first Christmas party in Japan. And
first one?
Yeah, I guess you may feel like surprised at the first one. It is held by a person whose name is Griffiths. He is American people who come to Fukui in 18th century, and he worked as a teacher in Fukui. And this is the first time I feel like it's a connection with global, and the community is like a global. Also, in my first year, I take the project about the children's cafeteria. And this is the first time I heard the word about the children's cafeteria. It's like in Fukui, there is like a building to provide food for children. Like, what surprised me is that among these children, they also have international children, which come from Brazil or even China. And this is the first time I think like just in a local community, local issue, we can also find some international factors. And this is why we are in the GCS.
Very interesting. I didn't know that there is such a huge explanation to what you've been doing so far. But yeah, sounds really great. For me, I'm participating in the Deep Fukui project, well, Deep Fukui PBL if you will, where we, as a group, research about different topics about Fukui, that is including industries, various shops, interesting crafts, and other things that make Fukui so special and unique. And the thing doesn't stop at the research part, but we also write different articles as well as shoot videos, so that it's not only us who learn about Fukui, but also the whole world.
It sounds very interesting, like an introduction about Fukui to people all around the world.
Okay, so let's just go back to the web page. Okay, so I hope you got a rough sense, at least, of what the school stands for. For more information about our school, please just refer to our university guide. I'll give you the URL later on. Let's just go back to the here, the English page of the university top page. You scroll down here, and here you have, under information, the 2021-22 university guide. And that gives you practically all the information you may need. It covers all 4 schools, but the GCS would be on page, the big pages here in pink, 11 through 14. Okay, I won't go into it now, just so that you know. Okay. As for admissions, here we go back to the main page. Just go one step up, admissions here, read more. And these are all the different entrance exams open to...
Excuse me, Sensei.
Yes.
I think the screen you're sharing is not the right screen. Can you please share the screen?
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay. Let me just put this down once more. Okay. Do you see it now?
Yes, it's clear now. Thank you.
Maybe it's not showing exactly just the page. So I go in here, School of Global and Community Studies, and we have the entrance examination information here. That's the guidelines and application form for students like yourselves, presently residing outside of Japan, but who wish to enroll from April next year, 2022. Gives you a rough description of the school again, admissions policy, and just I'll point out the schedule. Application submission is from September 30 to October 8. Okay, so please refer to this. If you're interested at all in GCS, there are several other schools. The School of Engineering actually has entrance exams for international students. That's one of their programs, JEPIS, Global Engineering Program for International Students. That's a course for master's degree in various disciplines in engineering. And that's the application guidelines and form here. There's another graduate program for international students. This is for a doctoral degree, GEP for R&D. And again, the guidelines and application forms are here. Okay. So with that, I think I'll stop here. Thank you very much for your kind attention. And I hope you've been able to find something of interest in my presentation. And I'll be very happy to answer any questions, if I can, that you may have. Okay. So back to you, Ms. Thakur. Do you have any questions?
Yes, thank you so much, Sensei. It was a very nice presentation. So we can answer a few questions in the Q&A portal. So there is a question which says, is there any master's program in liberal arts in Fukuyi University?
Yes, we have a master's program in education. I'm not sure if they accept foreign students, not very regularly, but I can talk about my own school, GCS. We also have a master's degree program, which we only started last year. And some details of it are in our brochure, not so much yet. And we can give you information regarding that program later on, much more in detail. I cannot give you offhand a link for it right now. Sorry for that.
Yes. Please do share it. I can share it in the chat box. And
happy.
also I see that most of the questions have already been answered by your office. So that was really helpful. Thank you. And there are a few questions which says, like, are there any fully funded scholarships for the graduate programs?
Again, I would refer to my colleague from the international office if she can provide that answer right now. And I think much of the programs which apply to all universities in Japan across the board have been introduced by our previous speakers already. Mrs. Malcolm, can you help us on that right now?
Yes, sure. I'm writing the Q&A session.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And also, there's another question which says, are the undergraduate courses, are they taught in English?
Yes, good question. In fact, I would say the majority of courses are taught in Japanese, it's in a way meant for foreign students who are eager to study Japan and the Japanese language. But we also have a good number of courses taught in English, and I can refer you to this list. Hold on. Oh, and I'll just put the links now in chat. Let me just give me a second. Okay, so if you go into the university guide here, which I showed you earlier on, I'll share it again with you. So that's our university guide, the latest one. And as I said, we have our page for GCS here. That's not all of the courses taught in English. It's just this list, just the courses taught in English offered by our school. That's what I can show you right offhand. But there are other courses taught in English by the other schools too. And I would say the number is considerable. But again, overall, a majority of courses are taught in Japanese. Some courses are taught in both languages. I teach my courses in English and Japanese as well, depending on how many students I have who are more comfortable with English. So those are shown here: international relations, international policies, and international communication. But we have all of these available for foreign students.
Yes, I
can. That answers at least partially the question. It's an important question, I understand.
Yes, thank you, Sensei. And there's another question which asks about internship opportunities in University of Fukui. Are you aware of any internship opportunities?
Internship, does that mean scholarships?
It is something like a research internship for a period of around 2-3 months.
Again, I can't answer very specifically, but as I said, our region is rather industry intensive, and we make we put a lot of focus on collaborating with industry as well as other stakeholders in the region, because after all, we pursue globalization, if you like, linking global with the local. And that means a lot of collaboration with local industry. And I believe many of them are very willing to provide opportunities for internships. Actually, I can tell you about one specific internship which we just realized last few weeks. This is from our graduate school, actually, and it's a small school. We have 8 students per year, and in the second year, they most of them are supposed to go on some form of internship or other. That could be, for example, working for a foreign branch of a Japanese corporation. It could be in Thailand, it could be in the United States. Another very interesting internship was with not a company or corporation, but with an international organization, actually. And this is at the headquarters of UNESCO in Paris. We just sent off one of our brightest students from our first batch from the graduate school to work for the Secretariat of UNESCO for 6 months and gain international experience there. Just so you know that.
Yes, that sounds very wow. I mean, UNESCO and all, it's really great. Thank you for mentioning that, Sensei. And do you have any idea about the number of seats that are available for the masters in engineering, or in general?
Again, for engineering, I think please refer to the professors from that school next week, next Tuesday. I remember there's more than a few places at engineering. In our school, liberal arts, social science, we have a few places. We just say a few places, but we're very eager to accept any student who is eligible and who is keen to pursue this opportunity here in Fukui.
Okay. And are there any student exchange programs? Like, do you have any collaboration with the other universities?
Oh, yes, we have. That's one of our other selling points. We have a big number of partner universities abroad with which we exchange students on a mutual exempting the payment of the fees, and that's for either 1 semester, 6 months, or 2 semesters, 9 to 10 months. And our partner universities are scattered all around the world. Your student who enters UF may not wish to go back to India for exchange, but we have quite a few in Asia, in China, Taiwan, Southeast Asia, Korea. Also have a few in the United States, as well as in Europe. So you can also look up a list of those partners universities on our website.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Sensei. And suppose a student from India wants to come to Fukui University as an exchange student. So is that possible?
Oh, yes. Anybody who goes to one of our partner universities, I can't remember a specific partner in India yet, but yeah, that's quite possible, actually.
Okay.
We can negotiate with a university in India and enter into a partnership, sign an MOU. So
yes.
that we can do that.
Thank you, Sensei. It was a very detailed presentation, and also for answering the Q&As. And also thank your office for being very active in answering the questions. Thank you again. So this brings us to the end of the presentation and also the end of the webinar. So I once again thank all the students for your continuous attention. I hope this webinar has given you an overview of the application process in various universities in Japan. Now, for information about other universities, please visit the following QR code, and also you can register for the other webinars too. So thank you again for attending today's session.